Right now on WHAS 11 News at 5, the first hospital in West Louisville in 100 years. A big announcement today. We now know when they will first open the doors.
Also ahead, crews still hard at work searching property in connection to the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. What the agents in Nelson County were once again focusing on today.
And FBI agents say the school shooter in Georgia was on their radar. Now investigators are trying to piece together where the gun came from. The new details still to come right here on WHAS 11 News at 5.
We're going to be here. We're going to build trust. We're going to do healthcare differently than it's been done because we want to change these statistics where your zip code is more influential in your lifespan than your genetic code.
He's the one who approved getting it built. That's the CEO of Norton today, and it will change the lives of people in West Louisville, the first new hospital west of 9th Street in more than 100 years, and we now know when they're going to be opening their doors. Well, the big announcement was made today about that. It's a big date to keep in mind. It'll be Monday, November 11th. That's when the first patients will admitted to the first hospital in West Louisville in more than 100 years.
WHAS 11's Ian Hardwitt and Chief Photojournalist Philip Merle met with the hospital leaders today, along with a plumber who has watched the site change through the years.
The grass is getting greener at the Norton West Louisville Hospital. Ahead of the Monday, November 11th opening day, Veterans Day, construction crews continue with finishing touches like paint, electrical, and plumbing.
I remember passing up all through my childhood. It used to be an empty lot here. We used to walk through the lot to get to Kroger's and stuff like that.
Houston Briscoe grew up in the nearby Parkland neighborhood and was on the job site from the very beginning, working on everything from drains to medical equipment hosing. And when the plastic comes off in November, this will be the emergency wing of the hospital over on the north side. However, the hospital's chief officer hopes the primary care services are what people will use most. Corinza Townsend started at Norton as a nurse.
When you come in and we have to admit you or treat you in the emergency room, that is not the end of your healthcare journey. We want to get you established with primary care doctors so that it's a continuous journey to a healthier you.
Additionally, the hospital will offer lab work, x-rays, and a pharmacy. Norton officials said the hospital's neighbors asked for plenty of green space. Crews are getting the rooftop ready for one now that the landscaping is done below. With just 9 weeks until opening day, it'll soon be time to unwrap an historic investment in a part of town that's long been neglected in healthcare.
I'm planning on taking it as far as I can take it, and maybe one day opening up my own business and doing it on my own. I'm trying to learn as much as I can.
It shows this ambitious project is already inspiring the West Louisville community it was built for. In the Russell neighborhood, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS 11, on your side.
An investment in this area was long overdue. The healthcare desert can be traced back to redlining in the city. Maps like these show how investments were funneled into the yellow and green areas where mostly white residents lived, taking away resources and opportunities from the red areas where mostly black residents lived. One of the project's visionaries felt the effects personally. Corinza Townsend will oversee the new hospital. She's the first black woman in her position. She told us in February why it means so much to her.
When I was younger, I watched the stereotype of African-American women with diabetes and heart problems and things like that. I have a family member that passed of cancer. And so, having family that's close to you who has dealt with, different comorbidities, you become a caregiver at a young age. And so I just continue that on.
The hospital is ahead of schedule. Originally, it was thought the first floor wouldn't open until January of 2025. If you need financial assistance, Norton is offering up some help. You can sign up before the hospital even opens. We have a link to the program right now on WHAS11.com. Just look at our links from the newscast story on the homepage.
Now to more of our big stories here tonight at 5. The search continued today in Nelson County. You're looking at the setup by the FBI crews as they just wrapped up day 3 in a new search for the body of Crystal Rogers.
In the last hour, several SUVs, trucks, and trailers left the search site in Cox's Creek. The Nelson County Sheriff says the crews are done searching. They'll be back tomorrow just to pack up the rest of the site. Well, today we kept a close eye on that search, finding the focus stayed on the tree line behind the home formerly owned by the Houck family. From above, the Sky 11 drone shows the intricate operation underway on Whitesides Road, a property formerly owned by Anna Whitesides, Brooks Houck's grandmother. Her involvement in the case called into question 8 years ago. When police pointed to her car as a possible piece of evidence, she's no longer alive. Thursday, special agents in FBI t-shirts and sun hats walked the grounds with tools and tarps in hand. The focus still on a small area near the property's tree line. Wednesday, that spot was covered by a tent. 24 hours later, agents seen with buckets in the very same spot. Backhoes busy again, digging up the land behind the house. According to the Nelson County Sheriff, the family that now owns the house is not connected and fully cooperating, giving the federal agency full access to search for the missing mother. As for what they'll find here, there's no guarantee we'll ever know. Every search warrant in this case has been sealed in court, but the sheriff says they are looking for Crystal's body, still not giving up hope of answering her family's plea to bring her home. The next court date for the 3 suspects in the Crystal Rogers case is scheduled for October.
Also new here today at 5, the man who was shot by Metro Police last Wednesday during his attempted carjacking at a woman in her van sitting in the Walmart Pharmacy Outer Loop store was in court this morning, and his bond was lowered by a judge.
Based on the seriousness of the charges and his scores, also looking at his history, and the court will set a bond of $50,000 full cash plus HIP if posted.
There you have it. His bond at $50,000. Police say Randall Allen was released from a Louisville hospital yesterday. Then he was booked into the jail. He's facing several charges, including resisting arrest, unlawful imprisonment, and fleeing police. The prosecutor requested that his bond stay at $100,000, but as you heard the judge say there in the court today, she went ahead and lowered it instead to $50,000. She admitted the charges were serious and he has a past record, but his bond was set at $50,000, half of what the prosecutor wanted in this case. Also in Jefferson County today, a man accused of shooting another man in a drug deal. A judge read the allegations against Shane Tony this morning. Tony was outside a convenience store on Strawberry Lane when a man allegedly tried to buy drugs from him. According to the investigation, a fight broke out and Tony shot the victim as he was walking away. The judge kept his bond set at $20,000 full cash because of his prior record in this case. And new tonight, a man is waiting for sentencing after pleading guilty to a 2022 murder. Dion Griffey admitted to shooting Richard Bell Jr. in March of 2022 during an apparent drug deal. It happened in the Jacobs neighborhood. According to court records, Griffey conspired with his co-defendant, Rakenya Wilson, to fake a drug deal and rob Bell. Griffey contacted Bell and agreed to meet him on Parthenia Avenue, where Bell ended up shot in the head. He died days later at the hospital. Wilson also pleaded guilty to charges of facilitating a murder and robbery. Now Griffey will be sentenced in October. He could face 30 years in prison.
And this is just into the WHAS11 newsroom. We've learned Misty Knoll and Casey Knoll will have separate trials. Misty Knoll did not waive her right to a 12-person jury today, according to the Clark County Court Administrator Tom Lowe. Misty would have needed to waive that right to join her daughter, who has a 6-person jury. Misty's attorneys not responded to our requests for comment at this time.
You felt the heat today, the humidity going back up, and as we take a look at those clouds right now, it definitely looks like more of a southern sky. You could feel it when you walked around and we were going, wow, what happened to those temperatures that we had? They were so nice.
If you're looking forward to the break, though, you don't have to look too far. Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine on a great cool down on the way.
Yeah, just a brief heat up here for today, and some of that heat lingering for the first part of tomorrow as well. We did make it up to 93 degrees, but the humidity could be worse. It is down to 35%, so no extra heat index across the area. But anytime you're at 90 or above, it's going to be hot out there, and that's where we're sitting here, mostly in the lower 90s. 92 PRP Valley Station, Shepherdsville 93 degrees, and more upper 80s, lower 90s throughout the viewing area, and just a very light southwest breeze. Out ahead of a front, that's the front we're waiting on right there. That's in Iowa and into Wisconsin. Not much moisture with it or rain at this time, but it'll arrive tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, giving us some much needed rain chance, and then a nice cool down for this weekend. So 70s after sunset this evening, lows will be in the 60s to around 70 degrees. Here's that late afternoon pop-up downpour in some spots. Not everybody's going to get this rainfall, as it will be just kind of scattered about. And then tomorrow evening, that better chance of rain in Kentucky than Indiana. So might have to dodge a little bit of this rain for our high school football for tomorrow evening. Kind of a dry heat out there for the first pitch, 6:35 at Slugger Field, with those temperatures in the 80s. Low tonight around 70 degrees. We'll be in the mid 80s at noon tomorrow, and still hot before that chance of some showers with that high up to 90 degrees. So we are going to show you some really great temperatures on the way for this weekend coming up in our Weather Impact Team forecast.
Thank you, Ben. More local news here for you tonight at 5 o'clock. TARC needs your help setting its plan for the future of transportation around Kentuckiana. TARC is considering 3 different bus route concepts. The top pick would offer more bus service to neighborhoods in Louisville, but would require consistent local or state funding.
That's what we want to hear from the community. We want the community to tell us what they want TARC to be for the next 5 to 10 years, whether that's on the ridership side or a coverage side with the concepts that we're proposing today.
To take the survey, you can go to TARC's website at ridetarc.org. Click on TARC 2025. That survey closes coming up on September 20th. You can also find that link easily on our website, WHAS11.com.
The medical marijuana program in Kentucky is moving along faster than expected. Today, Governor Andy Beshear said licenses can start being handed out this year ahead of the 2025 deadline. The application for business licenses closed last weekend. So now the governor can see how many businesses are interested. Well, in the first round of medical marijuana licenses, nearly 5,000 applications were submitted. A big majority of those are for dispensaries. Several others were for cultivators and processors. So many applications that they had to hire more staff.
The most important thing is that we do it right, and we do it safely, and we create a program that addresses any concerns and then provides this important healthcare service to our people.
Our region's called the Kentuckiana region. We had more than 600 applications, but only 48 dispensary licenses are being granted statewide. That lottery starting for cultivators in October. From these application fees, Kentucky has already generated $27 million.